We're going to be doing things a little different for this video in that I'm talking about a documentary, which I don't usually talk about documentaries on this channel. It's about a guy who free solo climbed El Capitan in Yosemite Park. And the documentary just came out recently, either this year or last year, and it's on Hulu, and I checked it out and loved it. So let's get into some discussion of what made this great. Hi and welcome, my name's Austin and I'm all about helping you to dig deeper and go further to better understand faith, film, and everything in between. If that is exciting to you and you're new here, consider subscribing. I watched Free Solo on a whim this past weekend. It's a documentary that's on Hulu right now. This documentary tells the story of Alex Honnold, an avid rock climber whose dream was to climb El Capitan, a 3,000-foot rock wall in Yosemite Park. Climbing this wall was a dream of his for the past 8 years of his life, and this documentary tells the story of that achievement. Now, before we get into the real meat of this movie, tell me in the comments down below, are you a fan of documentaries? Are they your thing? Not really? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm looking forward to it. This was a fascinating movie because not only are we watching this true story take place, but we're watching the events of the story actually unfold before our eyes, which is totally different than what you normally get to experience in a movie, which is a recreation of a true story a lot of times, but we actually get to see the true story and these events that took place. After seeing both the interviews and the footage that culminated in this movie, I was like, I have got to talk about this on my channel. I don't know how many people will be interested in it, but I gotta talk about it. Alex is a very interesting character to talk about, which is weird because he's not actually a character, he's a real person, but I'm gonna refer to him as a character. He is full of this passion that is contagious and oozing out of him. You can just see it in all the friends and people that he's working with around him. He is an inspiration to so many different people in his life. From the students that he talks to at his old high school, his friends, his fellow climbers, his girlfriend, all these people. Yet at the same time, he can be a difficult person for them to understand. In some of the interviews for the movie, he shared about how some of his ex-girlfriends in the past had always kind of told him that there was something wrong with his head and the way that he thought, and how kind of crazy, he almost death wish he was with his rock climbing and free soloing and all that stuff. His friends and the film crew talk about how emotionally draining it is to watch him and challenge him as he's preparing for this huge achievement that could easily kill him. And even his girlfriend says it's a challenge for her to grasp why he would want this so bad, knowing all of these risks. One of the most memorable aspects of this movie for me was those interviews with Alex. When he's talking about this climb and all the things he's been doing to train, he says something along the lines of, "There's no margin for error. Any mistake means death." Free solo climbing is the closest to perfection that you can be. This interview really stuck with me because we as humans are so wrapped up in the concept of perfection. We feel, especially here in America, I've noticed that anything less than perfection is just a failure. Obviously, in the case of this climb of El Capitan, yes, it is a failure of any mistake because he's gonna die. But behind the scenes, it's this intense and immaculate planning to get these results. There is only one example of true perfection in our world, and that is God, the creator of it all. And ever since we became part of that equation, we've been chasing after that same perfection. And until we reach heaven, we can only catch a glimpse of what that would be. We get this from thorough training and practice and passion. Just like Alex, who took his dream and did everything he could to make it a reality. He did not just wake up one day and think, I'm gonna climb El Capitan. He took years to develop his skills, feeling out every step and every handhold, mapping out that best course for success. Are you and I willing to do the same in our own lives? Will we do that tedious grunt work, that rigorous and repetitive training that needs to be done to achieve that goal? Just like the saying goes, it's not the destination, it's the journey. Alex had been on top of El Capitan before. He said he climbed it with a the rope over 50 times before he was ready to do this without a rope and do it free solo. But it was this specific free solo climb journey that really changed his life. And if you look at interviews of him today, he said that is the pinnacle of his life, the happiest moment of his life. And he didn't just get there one day. He worked hard for years, mapping things out, planning, going step by step through that process to achieve that goal of success. And it was that journey that had the real impact on him. Are you willing to take that journey? The one that may have the hardest route, but has the most rewarding results in the end. Documentaries may not be your thing, but they tell real stories about real people in ways that are not possible through traditional Hollywood filmmaking. I highly encourage you to check out Free Solo if you got Hulu, or if you got any other way to rent it or watch it. Go ahead and do so, and let me know what you think. I love to know what other people's thoughts are on this. And again, let me know down below, are documentaries your thing? Do you watch them all the time? I personally really enjoy nature documentaries. My wife wouldn't give them half a glance. She thinks they're the most boring thing in the world, but I love them. And I'd love to know your thoughts on the matter too. And if you're looking to dig deeper and go further to better understand faith, film, and everything in between, you're in the right place. Subscribe to my channel to check out a new video every Friday, and I will see you in the next video.